Half a millennium ago, the entire world coexisted in harmony. The earth was lush, and individuals collaborated to establish Kumandra, a fusion of 5 kingdoms that collectively took on the form of a dragon. Humans coexisted with wondrous dragons that possessed magical abilities, bringing water, prosperity, and tranquility to humankind. However, the arrival of the Druns brought an epidemic that propagated and multiplied rapidly, claiming lives and petrifying those it came into contact with. The dragons gave up their lives battling for humans, and eventually, they too transformed into stone. However, the last surviving dragon, Sisu, concentrated all her magical powers into a single gem and succeeded in defeating all the Druns. On that day, all those who had been petrified were revived, except for the dragons. Sadly, all that remained of Sisu was her jewel. Although this event should have brought people closer together in appreciation for Sisu's sacrifice, the opposite occurred. Instead, the realms fought amongst themselves to obtain the last remnant of dragon magic. Kumandra was divided into several regions with boundaries, and people turned into enemies. A jewel was hidden to protect it, and 500 years later, Raya, belonging to the Heart Realm, is being trained by her father to be the next guardian of the dragon gem. Her mission is to avoid traps and reach the top of the mountain where the jewel is hidden. With the aid of her friend Tuk Tuk, she manages to cross the cave and reach the magic sphere. Raya finds the mission very easy, but Benja appears to stop her from approaching the altar. They engage in a fight, and although Benja disarms her, Raya manages to keep her foot inside the circle and win the challenge. Her father is proud, and she is declared the new guardian of the dragon gem, continuing her family's legacy. Benja informs them that leaders from other lands are coming to Heart, but Raya thinks they are coming to fight. Her father reveals that they are coming to participate in a celebration, and Benja explains that they are only enemies because they believe their prosperity comes from the dragon gem, which is a mistake. He invites them to try to convince them to reinstate Kumandra because he thinks that if humans don't learn to trust each other again, they will all be harmed. The leaders from the other 4 kingdoms arrive at the palace, and the situation is tense. They want to know why they were invited and accuse Benja of stealing the dragon's jewel. Although he tries to calm them down, the argument becomes more heated. Raya decides to speak up and asks who is hungry. Namari, Varana's daughter and the leader of Fang, approaches Raya, and they soon discover a shared interest: their love for dragons. At the party, Raya and Namari discuss their love for dragons. Raya mentions that she is a fan of Sisu, and Namari shares rumors that Sisu is still alive. Raya shows Namari a scroll that claims Sisu fell into the water after defeating the Druns and floated downstream, possibly sleeping at the bottom of a river. Raya is excited at the possibility of meeting Sisu and uniting humans again. Namari gives Raya her dragon necklace as a gift, and they go up the mountain to see the dragon gem. However, Namari tries to steal the gem and knocks Raya down. Raya promises to protect the jewel, but Namari calls for her family's attention, and the soldiers arrive. Benja appears and tries to convince everyone to unite, but he is attacked, and the jewel is broken. The ground begins to crack and the cave collapses. During the chaos of the collapsing cave, a Druin appears and turns a warrior into stone. The Druin multiplies, and Benja uses a piece of the dragon gem to fend them off. Each kingdom takes a shard of the stone and flees, but Raya and her father realize that the Druins are repelled by water. Benja gives his dragon jewel shard to his daughter and throws her into the river to protect her, as he knows he won't be able to escape due to his leg injury. While falling into the water, Raya sees her father turning into stone. 6 years have passed, and Raya is still on her journey to find Sisu. She travels with Tuk Tuk and arrives in Tail, crossing a desert before reaching the last river of the 5 kingdoms. As they reach the river, they are attacked by a Drun, but Raya uses her dragon gem shard to fend it off. Raya breaks into the wreckage of a shipwreck and performs a ritual to summon the spirit of Sisu. At that moment, Tuk Tuk, who was quenching his thirst in the river, notices that the water has started to float with bubbles, and Sisu appears. She is far more naive and clumsy than Raya expected, but Raya is happy to see her, as it means her sacrifice has worked, and humans are no longer stone. However, Raya gives her the bad news that it was her fault that the dragon stone was broken, and the Druns were on the loose again. Sisu then asks to make another gem, but reveals that she didn't create the artifact, she just used it to defeat the monsters. When taking the fragment that was with Raya, Sisu starts to glow and states that that is the power of Amba, her younger sister. Each dragon has a special ability, and Sisu's is swimming as she is a water dragon. Realizing the power of the jewel is still connected to Sisu, Raya suggests that they go after the missing pieces so the dragon can use its power to save the world. Meanwhile, Namari and her gang are after Raya, and the girl finds an object lying in the sand. She soon realizes that it is an artifact belonging to Raya, mounted on their giant cats. They descend to the wreck and start looking for the girl who had stolen the dragon scroll. However, it is too late, and Raya is long gone. The next mission is to retrieve the piece of jewelry that was taken by Tail on that fateful day, and they head to a cave full of traps. Raya and Sisu have to face many challenges and dangers as they search for the shard of the stone. They eventually find the artifact entwined in a tree along with the remains of the leader of that realm. To get to it, they must cross a place full of sharp rocks and dodge luminous insects called toot and booms. After succeeding in this, they find the shard, and when Sisu touches it, they discover that their sister Prani has the power of shape-shifting, which is now under Sisu's dominion. Raya is caught stealing pieces of jewelry by Namari and her gang. Namari demands to know why Raya is stealing, and Raya claims it is for power. To escape the situation, Raya triggers a trap, allowing her and Sisu to escape. Although they manage to pass through the gate, Namari trails closely behind. Raya employs a distraction tactic with a toot and a boom, allowing him to escape to Tuk-Tuk. However, they soon find themselves pursued, prompting Raya to suggest they jump into the river since, much like Droon's cats, water is not a favorable element for their pursuers. Fortunately, they spot a small boat nearby and hop on board where they are greeted by a young boy who offers them some snacks. The boat is owned by Boone, who uses it as a restaurant to support himself as his entire family has been turned to stone. As their enemies draw near, Raya offers money to a boy to take them to Talon. Sisu, a water dragon, helps by steering the boat away from danger. Once they reach safety, Sisu takes a swim, but Raya reminds her to return to human form to avoid being discovered on the way back to Fang. Meanwhile, Namari encounters the stone dragons and continues her journey at night. The boat is later surrounded by Droons, but the group stays in the water, keeping themselves safe. After arriving at Talon, Raya and Tuk-Tuk explore the city while Sisu stays on the boat for her safety. While walking, a group of monkeys plot to kidnap Raya, and she later finds a lost baby in a dark alley. However, she soon discovers that her pieces of the dragon jam are being stolen by a child working with the monkeys. Meanwhile, Sisu goes shopping for a gift for Donghai, the leader of Talon, but has no money. Boone suggests putting it on a tab, which he explains is a promise to pay later. Sisu goes on a shopping spree, but the merchants accuse her of not having an account in the city and demand payment. A kind lady intervenes and takes her to the other side of town. Meanwhile, Raya continues to search for the thieves who stole her jewel pieces and chases them with Tuk-Tuk. She catches them, and they return her belongings. Raya then discovers that the thieves' family has been turned to stone, prompting her to offer her help. Raya seeks help from some people to distract the guards while she sneaks into the castle to find a piece of jewelry. When she arrives at Donghai's palace, she discovers that the man she was looking for has turned to stone, and everyone else in the palace has too. He tells her that the jewelry she's looking for is with Dung. Sisu is attacked by a Droon, but the jewelry repels it. Dung refuses to give her the jewelry, so she asks Sisu to help her find the other pieces. Sisu is disappointed that she has been tricked, as she believed humanity was fair and trustworthy. The woman threatens to arrest Sisu if she doesn't give her information, but Raya and Tuk-Tuk arrive to save her. Raya steals the jewel from the woman, and by touching it, Sisu gains the power of her brother's mist. They find Boone serving food to Baby and her friends on the boat, and with the quest complete, they head toward the next realm. In Fang, Verana receives bad news from her general that they are running out of space and need to expand to the mainland. Namari appears and informs them that he may have a solution. He tells Verana that Raya is collecting the other pieces of the gem and suggests intercepting her in the Kingdom of Spine. Verana accepts Namari's proposal and orders the general to prepare the royal army for Namari to command. On the boat, Sisu reflects on how it's hard to be human because people have small heads and no tails, and often resort to selfish actions. Raya remembers her father, who believed in trust and was betrayed. When they arrive in Spine, Sisu takes a pot of food and runs away. Raya follows her, and they end up being captured by a lonely man who just wants company. Tuk and the team break into the cabin and find out that Namari and her army are at the gates, demanding that Tong hand over Raya. Raya sees that the entire population has been turned to stone by the Druins. She decides to stay and distract Namari while asking Tong to help her friends escape through another exit. Raya fights against Namari with her father's sword, but is defeated in hand-to-hand combat. Sisu the dragon comes back to help Raya by using mist to cover Namari's vision. Raya runs away while Namari is distracted. Raya and her friends, including Sisu, go on a quest to fix the world. They acquire magic from Tong, and Sisu forms a ladder with raindrops to ascend to the heavens. Sisu falls into the water after having fun for a few minutes. Raya and Sisu travel to Sisu's homeland, where they find the statue of her brother. Sisu reveals that 500 years ago, she and her brothers used their powers to form the dragon's gem to battle the Druins. All the dragons were turned to stone except for Sisu and her brothers, but her brother Peng refused to accept defeat and made one last attempt. Sisu was chosen to take possession of the jewel and save the world. With her brother's faith in her, she was able to banish the Druins from the surface of the earth. Sisu then asks Raya to trust Namari again, as this could be the solution they are looking for. The group is traveling to Fang in search of the last piece of the dragon gem. When they arrive, Namari informs her mother about the dragon they encountered with Raya. She believes that Sisu can restore the damage and bring back everyone, but Varana claims that if everyone is restored, Fang's kingdom will be blamed by other lands. To prevent this, Varana has an action plan ready to be implemented. Raya follows Sisu's plan to ask for Namari's help and receives a package containing the dragon necklace. While having dinner on the boat, Raya and her friends find Namari, and she gives the piece of jewelry to Raya. Sisu appears and attempts to unite all the pieces of the jewel, but realizes it was a trap by Namari. Namari points a crossbow at Raya and demands the pieces of the jewel, but Raya tries to stop her with her sword. In the end, the dragon is hit in the chest and falls into the water. Namari takes a piece of the jewel and runs away, causing the water resource used to stop the Druins to disappear. Raya, blinded with rage, follows her and they duel in the castle. Raya's friends use the other gem shards to save the residents of Fang, but Namari's mother is turned to stone. The palace is falling apart, but Raya remains to defeat her enemy, Namari. However, Raya decides to spare Namari's life when she sees her friends in danger. They fight their way out, but the Druins surround them. Raya recalls Sisu's words about the importance of trust in saving the world. Raya asks her friends to give her their jewels, realizing that trust is the key to fixing their world. Despite her friends' doubts about trusting Namari, Raya takes the first step by giving her own piece of jewelry to Namari as a sign of acceptance. Seeing this, her friends follow suit and give their pieces of the jewel to Namari one by one, joining Raya and turning to stone. Although Namari considers escaping, she ultimately decides to stay and reassemble the jewel, but her plan fails as the dragon gem goes out, and Namari is also turned to stone alongside Raya and her friends. After the Druins disappear, the dragon gem glows again and removes their magic. All those who were turned to stone, including the dragons, return to normal, and the water fountains start gushing again. Raya reunites with Tuk in the hills, and dragons color the sky, performing a ritual that brings Sisu back to life. Sisu thanks Raya and her team and hugs them, and they all say goodbye to each other and return to their kingdoms to reunite with their families. In heart, Raya sees her father again, and Sisu appears to inform him that Raya has brought her friends. The leaders and inhabitants of all the other realms appear and gather to form the new Kumundra. Thanks for watching.